Good afternoon, everybody. Tashidelek. As usual, I hope all of you physically healthy, mentally happy. All the Buddha teaching is only about healthy mind. We ourselves consider as a Buddhist, but our mind is very unhealthy. We have a lot of unhealthy mind. We have a lot of non-virtuous minds. That means we are kind of Buddhist, but we are not really good Buddhist. Whether you are good Buddhist or not, it is not depends on what do you eat, what do you drink, what clothes do you wear, and what kind of lifestyle you have. A good Buddhist means if you have a lot of positive thoughts, virtuous thought, your mind is very healthy, have a lot of healthy minds, mean you are Buddhist. Not only be Buddhist, you are good Buddhist. Therefore, all the teachings taught by Buddha is only for achieving healthy mind, the forever, be healthy mind. Also, the teaching you receive from many masters, receive teaching for many times. All the teachings is only for have a healthy mind, have a virtuous mind, at the same time have a healthy life. Therefore, please everybody always remember, I am a Buddhist. I am a follower of Buddha. I am, follower of that or this master. I follow those master to have a healthy life, to have a healthy mind, to reduce all the unhealthy minds. So this is, must be our daily practice. Second, so today will be the last class for the study for the 1 month. So we not going to have a class on Saturday because the Dharma friends who attend Saturday class, now they have enough knowledge, enough Dharma knowledge. Also, we have enough understanding how to practice, how to do meditation, how to control your negative emotions, how to generate, positive minds or positive emotions. Particularly, you have enough Dharma knowledge, how to cultivate bodhicitta, how to realize emptiness, how to do the proper meditations. Without practicing, not doing any meditation, if you just attend, Dharma classes from here and there, from many masters, you're just listening the music. It looks like you are just listening music from different singer. So this is not the main point. You attend the Dharma class. So please, everybody must be very serious about your meditation. Do a proper meditation, followed by Lamrim, followed by Nagarjuna's treatise, followed by Chandrakirti, followed by all the teachings from all the masters. If you practice, if you do proper meditation, it's good for you, good for others. If you don't do any proper meditation, then you're not going to achieve anything, even though you spend your whole life studying Dharma, attending Dharma class. In the end, so you're not going to achieve anything. Simply you can believe, oh, I have accumulated a lot of merits. Simply you can believe, I have a lot of the mental imprints about Dharma. Therefore, please do more meditation, be more serious about your daily practice. Second, so I'll do kind of the revision class. Revision, I do the review what we had discussed in the last Saturday. So before it, everybody do kind of breathing meditation, try to have a calm mind. Then it's more easy to reflect about what we have learned in the past. Thank you. So, so what we discussed in the last week on Saturday. So when we study about the tenets about the four philosophical schools, so Buddha giving option for us. So which philosophical school we could follow. There are four Buddhist philosophical schools, or four like Buddhist like school kind of traditions. So it's giving us option. The four schools we differentiate based on about the view, not much based on practices. So based on the four philosophical schools, the first Sutrantika school, and the first two schools is look like they are they are looking, emptiness or selflessness only like a 25%. They understand selflessness, or we can use a term emptiness, 25%. Second, when you study about the Chitta Mantra school, then look like we understood selflessness, emptiness, 50%. Then when we study, about emptiness, selflessness based on the Swatantika school, then look like we understood emptiness about 75% or 90%, not 100%. So when we study about view or emptiness based on the Pasangika school, then we understood the emptiness about almost emptiness 100%. So we must follow the the Pasangika school. Pasangika. So in order to realize emptiness, do we need to study, all the four Buddhist philosophical schools or not? My answer for you, not necessary. You need simple knowledge, the definition of selflessness from the four schools. According to the first school, this is the definition of selflessness. Then third, then particularly Madhyamaka. There are two, right? Swatantika and Pasangika. You need simple knowledge, definition of emptiness or selflessness based on the four schools. So I said we need to follow the Pasangika, right? Why we need to follow Pasangika? Then the great Madhyamaka, who followed the noble father Nagarjuna and his spiritual son Aryadeva, split into two different systems. Madhyamaka school has a two subdivision. How these two Madhyamaka split into two? Because Nagarjuna and Aryadeva has a few disciples. Then the two disciples has a two different view about emptiness. Based on the Swatantika school, from their point of view, emptiness doesn't mean everything empty or empty, not empty of substantially existent. Substantially exist, but not exist, not depending on thoughts. That means emptiness means it's a half-half. Little bit exists or established from the object side, the little bit established from the subject side. For example, when we say there's a cup, there's a cup. I mean, the cup can be established, from two sides. Little bit must be from the object side, the cup side. Then we designate it as a cup. So this is the, Swatantraga school view. There's a two sub-school. Here we follow of the Pasangika system. Why we need to follow? Moreover, as explained previously, we refute substantial or intrinsic nature, right? But from the Swatantraga school, they don't refute substantial existence. They refute intrinsically existent. But the Pasangika refute substantially existent as well as the intrinsically existent. Therefore, not just, we refute essential or intrinsic nature, even though conventionally. There's not such a thing exists essentially. There's no such a thing exists intrinsically. Ultimately, conventionally, nothing exists substantially and intrinsically. Yet, the next line is very important. Yet, all that has been taught about secular existence and nirvana must be fully capable, compatible with the refutation. In one hand, they refute substantially existent, intrinsically existent. They don't accept. In the other hand, they fully able to accept samsara and nirvana. There's no contradiction. In one hand, they refute substantial existence. In the other hand, they establish, they're still able to accept nirvana and samsara. According to Swatantraga school, they said, if you refute substantially existent, then you cannot establish or you cannot accept samsara and nirvana. So these are differences between these two schools. So when you do meditation on emptiness, please keep this meaning in your mind. When you meditate on emptiness of like a cup, that means the cup exists. You should not think there's no cup. There's a cup, but the cup is not there as a essential existence. That means in one hand you try to establish the cup, in the other hand you are refute substantial existence. So you have to follow exactly the middle way. You must totally refute, totally negate inherently existent, substantially existent, independently existent. You totally refute. In the other hand, you are very comfortable in your mind. You are very comfortable to accept the samsara, nirvana, all the conventional phenomena. Because if you really, seriously trying to refute substantial existence, then for you it's very uncomfortable, you have a very uncomfortable feeling to accept the thing exists. But we just verbally, follow, oh, thing not exist substantially, but exist, conventionally. Saying is very easy. You really must have an experience. Then you will realize, emptiness. Otherwise, you just follow the text, this and this, this and this, you're never going to realize emptiness. Therefore, yet, all that has been taught about second existence and nirvana must be fully compatible with the refutation. Therefore, you should find the certain knowledge both of how essential existence is refuted and how second existence and nirvana are still possible. So this is, you must remember in your mind. Follow the Pasangika. Why? If you follow the Pasangika school, you able to negate the negation from the root. If you follow the Swatantra school, Chitta Mantra school, you can refute certain amount of negation, but you cannot refute the negation from 100%. That means still your mind is still attached with the inherent existence. This is look like so based on our daily experience. Our daily experience is a common experience, right? Everybody has this kind of. First, you really believe someone is very nice person, man and woman doesn't matter. You really feel, oh, this person is the most beautiful, nice person. You deeply like the person. Then after a few days or few months, you're able to see the incomplete. You're able to see the problems. Then, you totally keep distant with the person. Physically, you keep distant. You're very angry with the person. Then you say, okay, since today, I'm not going to see the person. I'm not going to talk with the person. You feel, you realize, I'm not going to talk to the person. You are very angry. Somehow in your deep mind, still, sometimes you miss the person. You miss the person. Mean you able to, kind of refute the person. Still, the previous kind of, memory is in very deep root. Likewise, if you're able to refute, inherent existence, not, the substantial existence, that means still, when whatever things appear to you, you have a, kind of self-grasping. You grasp, things exist, something from that object side. So when you follow the Pasangika, mean you totally refute the person. Also, you totally eliminate the memory you have in your mind. Then since you are totally free from, the self-grasping, but sometimes when you due to, forgetting the logics and reasoning, things appear to you as a independent existence, appear to you, but you're not going to, grasp, you're not going to believe it. The best example used by all the masters says, we 100% believe there's only one moon, not two, only one moon, right? So due to your eyes problem, sometimes when you look at the sky, you can see there's two moons, but appear two moons to you, but you cannot believe, you can't. Exactly, after you realize emptiness, you will have this kind of experience, right? Therefore, follow the Pasangika. Then, how I can realize emptiness? Then there's three parts. How to determine that there's no self, mean essentially self nature. How to determine that there's no self in phenomena. How to eliminate reflective and cognitive operation by becoming accustomed to those views. That means we need to fully determine a person is not exist substantially, and the rest of the phenomena also not substantially exist. First, you need to determine. Then your mind must be very familiar with the emptiness for continuously for many months. For example, another very common experience, very simple experience. First day, you saw the problem with your friend. Your friend is not good friend. He or she is doing some like bad thing to you. Then you get very angry. At that moment, you totally refuse to talk to the person. You say, since today, I'm not going to talk to you. You're no more my friend. You totally refuse to be friend with the person. Very angry because you saw the problems. Then after a few days, then you miss the friend. Because in between, you never try to remember the faults or the problem. If you remember the problems with your friend, every day, you won't miss the friend. Therefore, you should not think, if I realize emptiness, I can be free from like problems. Yes, you can, but you continuously need to meditate on emptiness. Likewise, due to your effort, you're able to generate great compassion towards all sentient beings. In the morning, then you stop your meditation. After 1 hour, you are very angry with someone because you're not able to practice the meditation continuously since morning until you get angry. It's between you forgot compassion. Therefore, realizing emptiness is so important. Second important is you continuously need to meditate on emptiness. Continuously remember the emptiness. Likewise, generate compassion. Then continuously, keep the practice in your mind. Then there's no way you get angry with someone. There's no way then you have a self-grasping on any phenomena, because you start the fire of wisdom. Then continuously you have the fire, right? Therefore, the third is how to eliminate afflictive and cognitive operation by becoming custom. First, very simply, we need to follow Pasangika school in order to fully 100% negate the negation, 100% able to establish the conventional phenomena. Second, how we should follow. That means you need simple logics and reasoning to determine a person is not substantially exist. The rest of the phenomena not substantially exist. You need to determine. Then you need continuously meditation on emptiness. Then you can eliminate the afflictive operation and cognitive operation. Then how we must realize emptiness of the person first, how we know, I, me exist, but not exist substantially. Then he has actually determined the self like intrinsic existence. There's two parts. Giving the example, showing what it illustrates. That's first, Chandrakirti give an example, which is the chariot. Then second, he said, the example, you need to relate it in your meditation, showing what it illustrates. By giving example, there's a quotation. Then I ask you to memorize the quotation from the Chandrakirti middle way. Now there's a four, parts, showing that the chariot exists imputedly, without intrinsic existence. Remember, showing that the chariot exists imputedly, without intrinsic existence. Second, eliminating the objection, you just skip this one. The third, how to establish the chariot under the various names. The fourth advantage, that you find the view quickly by using this example. First, showing that the chariot exists imputedly, not intrinsic existence. Right? Then I ask you for the 1 week, you want to reflect how the chariot, or I ask you use the car, how the car is exists imputedly, not intrinsic existence. First, you really need to know how the car exists. Using some logics, that means the car, the chariot exists imputedly, not intrinsically existent. First, you need to know this one. Then how the chariot car established under the various names. Then the four important one here, the advantage that you find the way quickly by using this example. First, you really have a deep understanding how the chariot imputedly exists, not inherently. Second, how the chariot established under various names. The two things you need to know. Then, for you, very easy to understand, emptiness of I, me. The advantage. The advantage that you find the view quickly by using this example. Okay, everybody, did you memorize the quotation from the middle way? Okay, I'll just follow the number 1. Who is number? Cho Ming. Can you recite the verses without looking Lamrim? You can unmute. Chandar Kirti commentary on the middle way, saying chariot. Can you recite? She become off camera. Then Tibetan Buddhist Center ID is me. Then Linda. Can you hear me? Can you recite the verses without looking at your Lamrim? Cannot. The next, Sherlock. Who can recite the verses without looking Lamrim? Right now we have a 45%. Who can recite these verses without looking Lamrim, without looking the books? Who can? Nobody say I can. Look at this showing is what this mean. You just attend the class. You never try to really, be serious about your study. It's just 4 lines. If you memorize one line, first line, you can memorize within 1 day. The second line, second day, right? So you must memorize the quotation from the commentary on the middle way. Otherwise, you cannot really, realize emptiness. A chariot is neither said to be other than the paths, right? The chariot is not totally separate from the paths. Without all the paths, there cannot be a chariot. Without all the paths, there cannot be a car. Number 1. Number 2, not to be known other. Mean, yes, the car is not one with the paths. Without the paths, we cannot establish a car. Other than the paths, not other than the paths, without the paths, we cannot establish the car. Then number 2, it does not possess them. That means the car has many parts. The car possesses many parts. All the parts possessed to the car not possess as independent parts. That means the car has many parts. The car possesses many parts, not possess independent parts. Then number 4, it does not depend on the past, and the past does not depend on it. That means the car depends on the parts, not depends on the independent parts, inherent existent parts, substantial existent parts. Right? And also, all the parts depend on the car, but not depend on the substantially existent car. Then number 6, it is neither the mere collection. Then number 7, it is not, it is their shape. So now you just first we everybody together reflect on a car. You just imagine a car. Yes, the car has so many parts. The car is none of the parts. Right? The car has doors, window, upper parts, all the engines, all the parts is there. But the car itself is not any of the parts. Number two, without all the parts, we cannot establish a car. Can we? We cannot. Please remember first and second. Third, the car possesses all the parts. Mean when we say a car, the car is established based on many parts. The car has many parts. The car owns many parts, but not has independent, inherently existing parts. Then number four, the car depends on many parts, but not depend on inherently existent parts. All the parts of the car depend on the car, but all the parts not depend on the inherently existent parts. Then number six, all the collection of the parts is not a car. Shape of the car is not a car. Mean the car is only designated based on all the parts. Right? Therefore, you memorize this quotation from the Enter into Middle Way. You chant every morning. Chant few times. They reflect on the meaning, how the chariot, how the car exists. Then use the 7 way, the 7 logics. Then you feel, oh, the car is merely designated. It doesn't mean you can designate everything as a car. Car is car. The train is train. We cannot designate train as a car, the car as a train, because worldly being, we has a very particular train to communicate. Therefore, merely designated doesn't mean you can designate everything as everything. Cannot. Right? 7. Use the 7 logic. Then, how to establish the chariot under various names. Then another quotation from the Middle Way. Our position very clearly established the conventional designation of the chariot is terms of what is familiar to the world. Familiar to the world. World means, we human being here. What is more, you should also assert any of the chariots was named in terms of what is familiar to the world. Without analyze, it is this. Also memorize these verses, recite few times, then reflect on the meaning. That means this quotation teach us how we establish the chariot merely designation. For example, 70 years ago, there was a computer. Right? But 400 years ago, there was an aeroplane. So someone, put a lot of effort to put so many things together, then the things about to fly in the sky. Then somehow, due to different reason, the person designated, oh, this thing is an aeroplane. Since everybody just follow that tradition, nobody say, how come this is aeroplane? We should not say this aeroplane, we should say something. We cannot argue. Right? That means all the conventional phenomena, particularly based on human being, whatever we establish, we should not do a lot of analysis. Why this is a car? Why this is a cup? It doesn't have a lot of reasonings. Simply, the designate is a car. We just use as a car. When we agree as a car, it doesn't have any other reason to establish a car. Therefore, how to establish the chariot under the Varis name? Then fourth, the advantage that you find view quickly by using this example. Again, quotation from the middle way. Those worldly conventional do not exist when analyzed in that way, but exist only through the being taken for granted, without being object to security. Therefore, when yogis analyze those worldly conventional through the every process, they will very quickly fathom the depth of the reality. How? Then there's a quotation. You need to memorize the three quotation. First, how the chariot not exist inherently. Second, how the chariot established under the various name. Third, you need to memorize the verses, how we can quickly, realize emptiness, based on the example. Okay, this is kind of revision. Now we study very simply about, the person lack intrinsic nature. Page number 289. 289. Showing what the example illustrates is a two parts. The example illustrates how the person lacks intrinsic nature. Number two, the example illustrates how the person is established under various names. Exactly, it's similar, right? So chariot is totally lacks intrinsic nature. Likewise, the person is totally lacks intrinsic nature. The chariot established under various name, exactly same. The person is established under various names. Next, there's four parts. The refutation of position that self is one with the aggregates. So, how we know the person is lacks intrinsic existence, lack intrinsically existence. How we know? Then there's a very simple logics. First, we just skip the number 1, 2, 3, 4. The refutation or position that the self is one with the aggregates. This one we really seriously need to think. Based on our own experience, we knew we have a body. The body is not, me. Also, based on our daily experience, we know I have a mind. And also, based on our daily experience, we knew I have a feeling. I have a mind can discriminate. So we realize we have 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. Now the question is here, based on ourselves. Now I'm saying me. No, you should think you should think me. Me, am I oneness with the 5 aggregates, or I am totally separate from the 5 aggregates? Now you need to think the 7, the reasons. I am depends on my 5 aggregates. But I am not any of the 5 aggregates. But without my 5 aggregates, I cannot exist. For example, the chariot has many parts. Chariot itself is none of any of the parts. Without all the parts, there cannot be a chariot. There cannot be a car. Likewise, without any of my 5 aggregates, me cannot exist. Clear? Then, number 3, I possess 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregates which is I possess, those are not inherently exist. Then the 5 aggregates, based on the 5 aggregates, the person is established, exists. But the person which is established based on the 5 aggregates, the 5 aggregates not inherently existent phenomena. Then the collection of the 5 aggregates itself is not me. My collection of 5 aggregates is not me. Then my shape of me is not me. Mean I exist, but I'm not exist inherently. Then how I exist? I establish under the various names. Right? This one. Therefore, first question, am I with oneness with my 5 aggregates or not? So in order to determine, first we need to know one and many, or one or two. One or two, or one or many, like plural and singular. Generally, here say, in general case, we see in the world that when a phenomena is mentally classified as a accompanied, when a phenomena is mentally classified as a accompanied, it precluded from being accompanied. That means one phenomena with a true. That means the phenomena is not only one. One phenomena is only one, then the phenomena cannot be with the true, right? Therefore, generally you need to think this way. Right? So generally, when you say, I'm single, when you say I'm single, mean nobody really with you. When you say I am with someone, that means you are not single. Therefore, be a oneness, be with someone is contradict. Generally, you remember this. Second, here as you say here, when it is and when it is classified as a so second one, then in general, therefore same and different, different as well as single and plural, eliminates any future alternative because the company and the company are respectively single and plural. When you resolve, there is general something must be either one or not one, then you will also resolve that for the particular case of what exists as essentially, it must be either essentially or one or essentially different. First, the phenomena is one, the phenomena cannot be true. If the phenomena is true, the phenomena cannot be one, right? One. So first you remember this logic. Second, now based on me and I'm not talking you individually, me, you. If I am oneness, I'm only just single, then I cannot be with 5 aggregates. If I, with the 5 aggregates, I cannot be just single. Right? That means plural and singular are contradict each other. Third steps. Yes, I am not just exist singly, but I exist with my 5 aggregates. That means me and my 5 aggregates depend on each other, right? Each other. But am like different, totally different my 5 aggregates or not? It's not. I cannot be totally separate from my 5 aggregates. This is the reality. This is the truth. You cannot be totally separate with your 5 aggregates. You cannot be totally established from your physical body. Right? But we have one big misunderstanding about how I exist. For example, last time I mentioned you, I explained you, you have a very unhealthy body. And somebody came to you, say, oh, my body is very healthy. I knew you have a very unhealthy body. You want to exchange? I give you my healthy body. You give me your unhealthy body. Then you feel very happy. Oh, I must exchange. This is a big mistake. That means you believe you are totally separate from the physical body. Without physical body, this your physical body, you think you can be exist. You cannot. That means the five aggregates is the basis to establish as a me. Right? Therefore, next sentence you important another. So, if a self or person existent essentially or intrinsically, it could only be one with the aggregates or different from the aggregates. Look very carefully. So, if a self means person, you yourself, like me, like Yonten. If Yonten, existed essentially or exist intrinsically, then it could only be one with the aggregates or different from the aggregates. Now you really think very carefully. Generally, 1 and 2 you contradict. Things 1 cannot be true. The things can be true, cannot be 1. Same way, if I am oneness with the 5 aggregates, I cannot be true. Because I'm totally oneness with the 5 aggregates. Right? If I'm totally different from the 5 aggregates, then I cannot be just true with the true. This is logic. Second, I'm using me as a Yonten, right? Is Yonten is oneness with my Yonten, my 5 aggregates or not? Now I'm asking this question to you. Are you, whatever name you have, you are you oneness with your 5 aggregates or not? Right? Then you say, no, I'm not, totally oneness with my 5 aggregates. Yes, it's separate. Then second question, are you existed essentially or not? Then your answer may be yes, answer may be not, your answer may be I don't know, right? If you are essentially existent, then you become oneness. It could only be one with its aggregates or different from the aggregates. Hence, the yogi analyze thinking, is this self essentially or with the aggregates, or it is essentially different? If I'm using me, if I am inherently existent, if I am essentially existent, that means then I am oneness with the 5 aggregates. Or I'm totally be separate from my 5 aggregates. You have only 2 options. You don't have third option. Then there's another important thing here. If self and the aggregates were established as intrinsically one, if you believe me and my five aggregates intrinsically established as just one, then there's three problems. If self and aggregates were established as intrinsically one, what could contradict this? The Buddha Palita gives three arguments that contradict the person. It would be pointless to propound self. And number two, there would be many selves. Number three, the self would be object to production and disintegration. If you just imagine, if I am as intrinsically established with my five aggregates, then I can have there must be three problems. Problem number one, it would be pointless to propound self. If I, intrinsically established with the five aggregates, that means I'm totally become oneness with the five aggregates. Then there's no point to say self. You must say five aggregates, because you and five aggregates are just one. Number two, there would be many self. If I am, oneness with the five aggregates, then five aggregates is a five. Number five. Then am I one? Am I five? Then you can be five because you are oneness with the five aggregates. Five aggregates as many, and you can be, become many. Also, we cannot accept. Then reason number three, the self would be subject to production and disintegration. If I, oneness with the five aggregates, then when my body become fat, then self become fat. When somebody cut my hands, then you have to say somebody cut me. When we die, when we dead, so our body going to be burned, going to be buried. So can we say, I burned someone? Cannot. With these three reasons is showing you are depends on five aggregates, but you yourself not exist inherently. If you exist inherently, then you become oneness with the five aggregates. These are the logics. You need to remember that. Therefore, at the beginning is mentioned the refutation of position that self is one with the aggregates, the refutation of the position that the self is different from the aggregates. How those arguments also refute each of the remaining position. How the person appear like an illusion based on the refutation. Right? This means is establishing self is lacks intrinsically existent. Now we do go more very simple way when you do meditation on emptiness of self. Why it is so important you to do meditation on self? At the beginning, I think the I think at the first week of this month, I said, Buddha taught 4 noble truths. Among the 4, he taught truth of sufferings. When he introduced the truth of the suffering to the disciples, first he explained impermanent. Impermanent. Because when you realize impermanence, not just you have a knowledge, you understand impermanence. You must have a experience. Things around me are impermanent. My families, my friends, my brother, my father, my mother, my country, all my belongings are impermanent. Nothing can last forever. One day we have to be separated. Remember impermanence. Meditate on impermanence. When you every day meditate on impermanence, first you will realize things are impermanent. Second, what actually is things, something happened, you're able to accept. Able to accept. Not only that, when you meditate on impermanence every day, you're going to learn detachment. Detachment. For example, one of your dearest person pass away, you feel very upset. You crying, you cry, you upset, you feel very unhappy. Because at the beginning or many years before it happened, you never think it is impermanence. Anything can be happen. You so strongly attached to your friends. You strongly attached to your belongings. You strongly attached with your gurus, your students, position. Therefore, you totally, your mind totally hold with the things, with the attachment. Therefore, meditation on impermanence teach us detachment. So then you are, you are free from, almost, you become quite free from the, many things. Many things. Then second, Buddha taught suffering. Yes, you realize everything is impermanent, nothing can last forever. But still you have attachment with the pleasant. You have a sense of hatred with the unpleasant. In the samsaric pleasant, samsaric unpleasant, samsaric happiness, samsaric unhappiness. You have this kind of concept. Also, we never ever realize this physical body is the basis to arise all kinds of sufferings, all kinds of problems. Just imagine how many kinds of food we have in the supermarket. All kinds of food and drink is for this body. All the clothes, all the jewelry, only for the physical body. Therefore, until we have this body, we never be free from suffering. We need to face all kinds of sufferings and problems: aging, death, sickness, disease, healthy, unhealthy, and all the kind of things we need to face. Therefore, we never be free from suffering. First, second, we need to realize this physical body is the origin of, kind of suffering, basis of suffering. Not only that, this physical body I have because of the positive karmas. The positive karma actually rooted by the emotions, that ignorance. So we need to eliminate the physical body. In order to eliminate the physical body, we need to eliminate the root the origin, the cause of the suffering. Therefore, second, you need to meditate on the truth of sufferings. Still then, yes, you are able to accept, impermanence. You totally become detached with everything. You are free from all the anxiety, depression, this thing. Also, you realize, the samsaric happiness is not really happiness. We name, I believe, as a happiness, a pleasant, actually is a sufferings. But still, you cannot really have a kind of a detachment with your physical, five aggregates. Because generally, it's very interesting. First, you think about your family. If there's a huge problem, you think yourself, you think about your friends and family. Then the problem becomes more serious. Then you need to give up all your friends. You need to think about your families and you. Then the problem becomes more serious. And finally, you think only me. You're okay, you give up your family, let them go. You're very worried about yourself. Finally, you have a very strong attachment, self-grasping about I. Then, in order to control the self-grasping, attachment towards yourself, then we need to realize emptiness. Emptiness means I exist, but I'm not exist inherently, is essentially. Then how I realize emptiness of self? Then the analogy that established under the various name, then you will realize very easily emptiness of the self. Then actual, the way to realize emptiness of self means we need to realize I have a mind, I have a body, I have a feeling, I have a mind. Then someone asks you a question, are you your body? The answer is, can be no or can be yes. I don't know. Different people must have a different answer. Are you oneness? Are you your mind? Or no? Right. Therefore, first the true schools, they assert the person mean, the person, the being mean actually is a, mind, or is be like a five aggregates. Then the Chitta Mandara reject. Person cannot be just mind. The person cannot be the five aggregates. Then the person established as a, all basis mind. All basis mind, they recognize as a person. Then the Madhyamaka, both of the Madhyamakas will reject it. They say, no, the person is not really a mind. The person is not none of the five aggregates. The person is not the all basis mind. The person is merely designated. Designated. How designate? That means the Swatantra school said all phenomena establish half-half. Half from the object side, half from the subject side. For example, a cup. There must be, something is a particular container. It has a function to carry, hold the water or tea, coffee. Then we name this is a cup. We cannot name, anything as a cup. In order to establish a cup, the thing must have a unique, characteristic. They believe essentially existent. Then the Pasangika said, no, you are mistaken. You say the thing must establish from both sides, object side and subject side. Pasangika said, there's nothing we can establish a thing from the object side. If thing established little bit from object side, then you analyze, for example, cup. In order to establish a cup, you use a cup as an example, then you check. So which part is the uniqueness to establish a cup? The handle, or the upper parts, the lower parts, inside also, which part is the uniqueness to establish as a cup? When you do this analyzing, you cannot find, oh, this is the one uniqueness for establishing cup. Then you need to remember the coil snake, right? Coil snake. Then Pasangika said, none of the phenomena established from the object side. There's nothing such as we can say, oh, this is cup because of this. This is chair because of this. Everything we establish based on, our thoughts, our perception, our thoughts, right? Then how we know everything we establish by our, based on our understanding. Therefore, I said, a few times, for me, I think somebody is, I feel it's quite interesting to think about that way. Let's say, beautiful man, attractive man. In order to establish some man as the most attractive person, different countries are different, idea. In Asia, attractive person means this. When you go to Europe, oh, attractive person means this. When you go to America, they have their own conception about attractive. When you go to Africa, for there, they has different idea. Also, most beautiful lady, girls. Asia, in Asian mean, beautiful mean, this feature must be there. When Europe, oh, beautiful mean, this. Africa, beautiful mean, this. One of the most beautiful, African lady, recognized as a most beautiful lady in Africa. When the lady come to Asia, can we accept, oh, she must be most beautiful person, beautiful lady? We cannot. Mean beautiful, ugly, whatever we establish based on our, our thoughts, our emotion, nothing from object side there. So I think today is already 4:30. So we can stop our class today here. Since today we not going to have any Lamrim class, and because it's very complete. So I want to tell my kind of why I'm in Singapore. First 2 years, I have a commitment to come to Singapore, teach Dharma. Then, third and fourth years, I asked EXO member to find another resident teacher. Then, they could not find a teacher. Then I have to stay another 2 years, like 4 years. After 4 years, I thought, okay, I already started the Lamrim, all the classes, I must, complete the Lamrim class. So I already completed Lamrim class like twice. And between I start, the Lamrim class or Dharma class for beginner. Because we know, many of our Dharma friends, they believe themselves, Buddhist. And they really don't know what does mean Buddhist, how to be good Buddhist, how to be happy person, how to control the negative thoughts. Then we start, Dharma class for beginner based on the 3 texts. So it continues for like a Sunday class, Also, if you want to attend, any of you wish to attend, you can attend the Sunday class. For the 1 month, we're not going to have a Saturday class. Reason number 1, we complete the Lamrim. Now up to you. You do a lot of, self-study based on Lamrim. Instead of, running here and there, instead of attending class here and there, you just focus on Lamrim, read chapter by chapter and have an experience. Then, and maybe September, I think in September, so we're going to have another class. So we need to discuss what kind of class we must have. We should have a class or not. And also, I have been teaching class for many months. I can have a kind of holiday, holiday during the COVID-19. So I can have not just holidays because we will have Ulambana, the 1 month prayers, soul offerings. Also we have done last year. We did last year. Also I will do this year also in I think 6th of August till September, I think 6th. So therefore, we're not going to have any more Lamrim class. Then let's see what kind of class we will have. And people have a different idea, oh, you teach this and this and this. Before you really ask me to teach this class, first you think it is important or not. If you think it is more important, really important, you have to be serious. For example, every month we have 3 pujas: Thara Puja, Medicine Puja, Guru Puja, Samra Dharma Protector. How many people really attend? This day you don't have to come to all the way to TBC by MRT, drive by bus. You just sit your home, open your phone and laptop. You just sit there, chant together, visualize together, recite together. Very simple. Even though I cannot see, not that many people attending, the puja. Also, maybe I was thinking maybe since next month not going to have any puja. Then you feel, oh, we should have a puja. Yes, we think that way, but many of you not attending the puja because you think, oh, puja chanting is not important, studying more important. You become too extreme. Some of you think, oh, recitation, chanting, puja are very important, not study. Also, you become very extreme. We need both. Because we need to purify negative karmas. We need to accumulate merit. At the same time, we need to do the serious meditation. Serious meditation can be done with a serious study. Without studying, you cannot do the proper meditation. Therefore, you need both. Recitation, chanting, puja, plus study. Study, meditation, plus puja. You need 2 wings. Many of you wish to have just 1 wing, study, meditation. Cannot. Only chanting, recitation, no puja, cannot. We need both. Okay, so this still I need to discuss with the expert, we should have puja or not. If you think puja is important, you must attend. Okay, so today is the kind of last Lamrim class. I really, I believe myself, many of you get little benefit from me. Also, you learn something from me. Whatever you learn, please, you put into practice in your daily life. Try to be happy person. Try to be free from all the, the negative thoughts, all the nonsense things. So then you can have progress in your Dhamma practice. Okay, at the end, dedication. So during our Dharma class, we have accumulated the great amount of merits. All the merit, first we dedicate for becoming Buddha ourselves to benefit all sentient beings. Gewa gundo yanda lama danje me chuge bala longje sadan lamge yanda razo ne doje change goban yurdo sho. Second, we dedicate all the merits for world peace, because right now the world is, quite crazy. Lot of, natural disasters, all kinds of serious sickness and disease, all kinds of fighting here and there. Also, recently we have a very unfortunate accident happened in the school. It's a very unfortunate. 13 or 16-year-old child, like student, not really fight. I think, they killed by X. We really hope it won't happen again. When we heard the news, I already do a lot of prayers. Also, Tibetan Buddhist Center offer the oil lamp, who murdered. So whatever happening around us, the natural disaster, all kinds of sickness, disease, all kinds of unfortunate accident happen, is due to karmas, particularly due to the negative emotions. Therefore, we dedicate the merit for world peace, peace in peace in all countries, peace with all people. Jide yambe jagan tanje do mine chune zase azaden. Madru muge guba gunje ne tsire ne me di yeden bar sho. Last, dedicate the merit to benefit all sentient beings, all human beings, particularly the families, the people, the person who always support Tibetan Buddhist Center, who contribute for Tibetan Buddhist Center, for light offering, flower offering, whatever you contribute. So we dedicate the merit to benefit all those people. Gere dondra yaju jiwa na mide nebe ge dondra wa. Tumba juju punson zo gyo be ta shen de gyan dendra de le. Nere jiya za je jiwa na mide nebe ne dondra wa. Tumba juju punson zo gyo ta shen de gyan dendra de le sho. Thank you so much for attending the Saturday class. Have a happy Saturday.